Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, welcome to a special episode of Talk is Turkestan. Today we're going to be talking about yesterday's events, about how the UK Parliament has recognized that what's happening to the Uyghurs is a genocide committed by China. And today with me, I have Miss Rahima Mahmut. Just a little bit about her, our guest. She is a Uyghur singer, a human rights activist, and an award-winning translator of the poignant prison memoir, The Land Drenched in Tears by Soyuncu Chanishev. Her latest work includes working as a consultant and translator for the ITV documentary Undercover, Inside China's Digital Gulag, shown July 2019, which won many awards, including a BAFTA, TV, and International Emmy on Current Affairs in 2020. Currently, she is the project director of the World Uyghur Congress and advisor to the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, otherwise known as IPAC. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome to our show, Miss Rahima Mahmut. How are you, sister?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much.
Wa alaikum assalam. So I'm going to get straight into it. I hope I've done you justice with the introduction there. So first of all, congratulations. For those, again, who didn't know, the UK Parliament yesterday voted unanimously to recognize that what is happening to the Uyghurs is a genocide committed by the Chinese regime. Now, Ms. Rahima Mahmut, what are your thoughts and feelings of this vote, and what changes could we see with how the UK deals with China in the days, weeks, and months ahead?
Thank you. Well, this is a landmark moment for the Uyghur people. And also it is historic because this is the second time in the UK in Parliament this motion has taken place. First one was in 2016, Yazidi genocide. And also this is historic because first time the UK recognize the genocide as genocide while it is happening. So it is not after it was over, it is while it is happening. So that's why it is very historic. And by having this kind of unanimous recognition, it could push the government, to stand much stronger stance against the Chinese regime. And we have a lot of demands, as Uyghur from the World Uyghur Congress, Stop Uyghur Genocide, and we want the UK government to do more to protect and prevent this genocide from continuously happening.
Now, obviously, the success of this vote didn't just come from thin air. It's the work that we have seen you do throughout the various campaigns you have run, the lobbying of ministers, the protests held, and so on. Now, how have you made this campaign for genocide recognition effective? And I only ask this because there are similar campaigns and votes to be held in a number of countries around the world in the weeks ahead. But what would you say has made your campaigns successful?
So first of all, raising awareness. So public awareness and having more communities, cross-community, cross-party, cross-faith groups to join and support. You find the multipliers, the people who can multiply your voices. And through also press. And luckily now we have a lot more activities and reports, all newspapers everywhere. Also important to raise awareness among the MPs. That's a very important part of the campaign within the government, within the parliament. So reach out to the MP. Don't just assume that they know everything what is happening. The reason the UK MPs, we have 650 MPs, the MPs know about the Uyghur situation so well because there has been so many debates, especially the genocide amendment to the trade bill. It came and forced about 3 times. So each debate, there MPs who supported the Uyghur people eloquently pointed out about what is happening. So there's no MPs can excuse or can say that I didn't know. So therefore, it is very important to reach out to your MP, not just yourself. You find more people to reach out to your MPs. For example, here we had a Jewish community. They worked tirelessly. Volunteers, group of volunteers. I have over 50 volunteers in Stop Uyghur Genocide campaign group, WhatsApp group. And I have PR group, which is to design and to strategize the campaign. And I have advisory group. I have 10, 11 advisors who give me advice. We have advisory meeting once every month. So all this kind of contributed to for me to work in the right direction and to do my work effectively in a kind of very short time to be able to reach out to a lot of people, community leaders. And for example, if you want the Muslim MPs to support you, reach out to the Muslim communities, phone the mosques and ask them to say, if you can't do anything, at least please write to the MP and draft a kind of easy way of templates, for example, what you want to tell your MP to do. And so sometimes people not necessarily can write a good letter, or sometimes people just lazy, by nature. But if you provide all those to people and then say, well, here you are, all you can do is just 1 or 2 click, it takes 30 seconds, and people will do it. And that can be very effective.
That is definitely some great advice that other Uyghur activists, advocators and organizations could use. For example, there's something happening in Australia and where there'll be a similar vote about this Uyghur genocide. Now, the role of IPAC, the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, in which you are a part of, has been key in getting this vote across. How important to have those relationships you have forged with individuals like Nusrat Ghani, Luke de Pulford, Benedict Rogers and others been in making genocide recognition successful?
Well, Luke and both Benedict, they are in my advisory committee. So they are the people who provide me advice. I found them as soon as I started working as a project director in UK, because I'm a singer, I'm a human rights activist, not professional, advocate. And so in order to work professionally, first thing I did was to find these professional people who care about the situation. And so Luke played a very important role in connecting me and multiplying my message direct to the MPs, and also by serving as advisor to the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China, that also made it much easy for me to be able to reach out to the most important MPs, the like-minded MPs, and also having Uyghur APPG, All-Party Parliamentary Uyghur Friendship Group, and that also played a huge role and made it much easier to organize events, Zoom events, and inviting MPs to listen to survivors' accounts. So there are so much things that you can do. Is first you plan it, find the right people, and make sure you can reach your destination as fast as you can.
That's some very good advice, and the people who are watching with us live agreeing with you. We've got lots of thumbs up and saying great advice. Now, do you see any other countries following suit? How important is it for countries to stand up against China together for the Uyghur people?
Well, we know now immediately after the vote yesterday, Nusrat Ghani mentioned about Lithuania, Germany, Italy, Belgium, and we know that more countries will definitely follow because we have its Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China is initiating this. So we have 20 countries, 20 country co-chairs of so that has been very active. And the reason that the formation of IPAC was to counter China, that China's influence, and how we can change the dependency, reduce the dependency of this country, economic dependencies on China. And therefore, collaborated action can be more effective because China is very good in isolating countries and punish them for very little things that they don't like. For example, what happened to Australia, for example. Therefore, now I think it is important that when you have 10, 20 countries come together and impose the sanctions, not only just to individuals, but also trade sanctions because of what is happening, this slave labor, forced labor, supply chains. So the countries cannot say it has nothing to do with us because of the goods that we are using, we are buying. There is a very, very strong possibilities that it's come from the Uyghur forced labor. And therefore, when you uphold the value of what you believe, then you must respect the rights of the individuals, rights of the people, rights of the Uyghurs and many other ethnic groups. And therefore, I believe this can be quite effective.
Now, from your experience, what tends to be the main factors that hold countries back from supporting the Uyghurs? You sort of mentioned it before, where China sort of isolates a few countries, as we've seen with Australia and many others. But what are those factors specifically?
Absolutely, number one reason is the economic dependency. Economic benefits. A lot of countries always consider their own country's economy above everything else, above the human rights. And therefore, reducing that economic dependency is a key for the countries to be able to speak up, and including our Muslim countries as well. Just look at also neighboring countries like Kazakhstan and many other our own Turkic brothers, and also look at in 2009 where was Turkey, and when you look at now where it's so different because when you are become too close or to becoming such a strong ally in trade partnership with China, and that is what happened. That's what happens.
And I guess you just answered this question right here, asking what is the current relationship between Turkey and China. And as you mentioned, very much so, economics being at the forefront ahead of human rights. So my next question is, what's next? We've got genocide recognition from a few countries, the UK yesterday, America before, Holland, and a few others. But many are skeptical that it'll actually do anything practical against China. What do you say to that?
You can be skeptical. People say, "Oh, China is so strong." Rahima, do you think you can do anything? 2-3 years ago, people like kind of laughing at me. But now they can see the changes that we made. Every little kind of optimism, it actually really do change the situation. To come to that question, now the recognition of the crime is extremely important. Only when you recognize that crime, then you can act accordingly against that crime. So we know China is behaving in such a way as a bully on the world stage because of its strong economic power over countries. And therefore, the number one thing that countries must do is to reduce that power. To reduce that power, then you don't give the priority of the trade deal like you did in the past, simply because China can give you much cheaper goods. But now countries have to think twice about signing on any kind of trade deals because of the public opinion and also pressure from the MPs. For example, that's going to happen in this country. And also my campaign, for example, an immediate campaign now is Ban Chen campaign, because Chen Quanguo is not among the list of the sanctioned officials. And we know, because he is the monster who is the architect of this entire persecution, the crime against humanity and the genocide. And therefore, we're coming after him. And also the trade deals, for example, and the importation of goods, the cotton and other products, high-tech products that is implicated in, the supply chains is implicated, tainted by forced labor. And luckily, we have a lot of good reports. For example, the latest Sky News report about how on the Baidu site that Uyghurs were put on sale. And this caused huge public anger. And anyone who has the right mind and who believe in justice, they will speak up. And for all this can influence the government to make a decision and to put things right. Whatever it happened yesterday, it just gave us hope. It's hope that, everything is possible. So if you always think, oh, China is strong, that we cannot do anything about it, then nothing can happen. Only when you believe in, yourself. Of course, number one, as Muslims, we believe in God and we believe in Allah. And that is the number one thing that we should believe, that things can happen only if you believe in the power. Not the China is not God. CCP is not God.
What sort of reaction or backlash could we see from China, and could we see the UK sort of take a step back from this decision?
No, I think we know they already made a statement. They were very angry already today. Like, for example, IPAC internet was down, and there has been, we suspect there has been some kind of cyber attack or other things, or its consequences is happening. But we can see from after UK sanctioned 4 Chinese officials in retaliation, Chinese government sanctioned 9 people, 5 MPs and lawmakers, including Essex Court Chamber is a legal entity, and the government stood by the MPs and by those sanctioned officials and the experts. So when things like this happens, a government always will stand up against China. They're not going to be kowtowing to China. I think that history has passed. That is already become yesterday.
Now, I don't want to take too much of your time because I know you've been inundated with interviews and you're planning a lot of things. So do you have any other last words for us before I let you go?
Well, thank you so much. And thank you for all the people who've been sending me this, congratulation messages. And this is a work, not just me, with so many volunteers, so many people who believed in me and in the Uyghur cause. And I just want to say that, I can't repeat this more. We have to believe that things can change, but we other people can make that happen. So we have to be optimistic, and it's the holy month of Ramadan, and we must believe that our people will be free one day.
And with that, I'd like to end the show. Sister Rahima Mahmut, please do not go. I want to speak to you after the show a little bit. But brothers and sisters, again, it was great news. Congratulations to all. And inshallah, many countries follow suit, especially the Muslim countries. We don't have one Muslim country recognizing what's happening to the Uyghurs as a genocide. On the contrary, they are supporting the Chinese regime. So until then, guys, show your support by liking, sharing, and subscribing. And until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ümit üzme aziz halqim, ümit üzme ey ana yurt. Biz atlandık bu küreşke, o yıl taştek uyuşup. Allah verse bu nusretni, bizgilerimiz sep